High school. I'm here with Caesars, one of my students, and you're okay being on camera?
Yes, sir.
Not afraid?
No.
And you signed the release for the camera?
Yeah.
So you're fine with it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. We're doing an instructional video. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. They asked me if they wanted to drill a hole in this. Okay. Well, this is just a practice piece. They're doing a robotics competition called VEX. All right. Is that what it's called, right?
Yeah.
All right. And this is about the size. It's like an 1/8 inch. Well, it's probably a little less, but we're just doing 1/8 inch. This is about 1.5 inches, and the length doesn't matter right now. Okay. So there's two ways you can do this. All right. Two ways you can do it. First way is with no measurements at all. But what you do need is you got to use a center punch. So come on in close and take a look at this thing. It's basically like a sharp point, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a hammer and put a mark. You know where the hammers are?
There's one over there. There's one here.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay. So what I want you to do, I'm gonna do one, and then you're gonna do one. Okay. So here we go. One shot, and get in close and take a look as much as you can. It's hard to see, but there's like an indent there, right?
Yep.
Okay. Your turn. Perfect. That's perfect. Okay, that's exactly it. Now, why would you need that? Well, let's take a look at the drill bit for a second here. The drill bit has kind of like a pyramid top, and what happens is that'll lock in. Once you grab on, it locks in. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Okay, so feel that, how it grabs in there. Yeah, and you can see that without it, what'll happen is when you spin this, it'll just start walking in circles around, and it won't start cutting. So you do need a center punch, okay? And this is what gets it started. Now, if you don't have a center punch, that's no problem. You could use a nail or something like that. Okay, but you got to get that started, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. The next thing is we're going to drill it using just a hand drill, okay? That's one way to do it, right? Now, I was just starting to tell them, when you do a hand drill, there's certain safety mechanisms. Do you remember them? You want to try explaining it, and I'll jump in.
Yeah, so there was something called dead man switch, which means that it won't turn.
What's it called?
A dead man switch?
That's right, dead man switch.
Yeah, which means that it won't go in unless it's off for safety reasons. Because if usually you'd have it like this, you see the holes right there, and your hand would be in this position. So if anything would happen, your hand would slip on the trigger, and if your hand was here, the thing would start turning and take your arm.
Right, exactly. So it's called a dead man switch because when it's like when you're not. Actually, this one's not a dead man switch. This would be a dead man. Like when I let go, it's off. On only when I'm alive and conscious and deciding to pull the trigger. This would be. I'm not sure what they call this, but it's basically a mechanism that is faster than you. So basically, when I plug this in, okay, you see this expands the chuck. Okay, now let's say I wanted to put this in, okay, you can run it up. Hold on. We went to the end of the limit there. Hold on. There. So I can run it. There we go. And I was just doing that just to get it into place. But now if I want to tighten it, you can't tighten it by hand. You have to use what's called the chuck key. So you put the key in and you push down and turn it. And that's all you need to do. It's not a lot of muscle, but it's enough to lock it in. So now this is locked in, right? And it's unplugged because, like Caesar said, if I did that and by accident hit the trigger, it would wrap up my hand. We don't want that. So this is effectively electrically dead while I'm making adjustments. Okay, very important. I call it plugging into the air. All right, make sense?
Yeah.
All right, so the next thing is we're going to mount it to the table. We don't quite need this mat right now, so we'll just push it back a little bit. And we're gonna take this. Now these are called C-clamps. I wonder why. Okay, and you're just gonna take this and, now why is it off the edge of the table?
So you could work on it without it damaging the table.
Right. You're not going to drill into the table. I know there's marks all over the table and people put gum and this and that. That's not a nice thing to do. These people are not nice and karma will get them.
Right.
No. Okay, but drill off the table so that, you know, you don't hurt the table. Now another thing, we're just missing one thing. Let me just get one attachment to that drill. And you're still filming, right?
Yeah.
All set? No problems with the filming?
Nope.
Okay, let me know if it stops. Okay.
Okay.
All right, this is a hand attachment, right? It kind of makes it more stable. So what you can do is, or actually, let's flip it. Put it like this. Put it like this. You don't have to have this, but it helps with the torque. And what I would do is just use your body as like a reference. Okay, and
It's not on.
oh yeah, let's plug it in. Now I'm pushing down, but I'm not putting all my pressure on it. Okay. And the reason why is because this drill is hard like chalk. It'll crack if you bend it. So if you push down, you're like, I'm gonna push it down. Now look, you can bend that. Take a look.
Yeah.
You see it bending? Look at that. I don't know if you could see it on camera.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing, right? Now you don't want to bend it because it will just crack. Now we have other ones. It's not the end of the world. If you ever break something in my class, no problem. But let me know so I know what to replace and why it happened. Make sense?
Yeah.
You're never in trouble in my class.
Okay.
Unless, you know, I don't know, unless you put gum under the table. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so now normally I put a little bit of oil, but this is not a very large bit, and the oil can, I think, is the other room. So we're just going to go for it, okay? So here you go. And another thing you should notice is I'm not doing high speed either. You don't need that. Just regular speed, regular pressure. Taking a little while, but that's okay. I don't want to push it too hard, so it's okay. Okay, there, it just went through. Now when it pops through, you got to make sure that you're ready for that. And I was ready. So it popped through, but that didn't send me to the floor. It just popped, and I'm stable because I'm using the triangle. My shoulders to this, like this. This is a little bit loose, but it's not. There's no strings or anything like that, so it's not dangerous. Okay. Now I put this down here, unplug it so no one by accident hits the trigger, right? Take this like this, and I have a little brush here. And you just brush it off. Now on the bottom, it's got little sharp stuff. Feel that, Caesar?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go get a file.
Show the camera, fam.
You hear that?
Oh yeah.
It's grabbing the glove. No, it's not safe. You can't hear anything.
That goes straight in though. Good talk.
So here's a file, right? And I'm just gonna just gently do that. And maybe on the top too. How's it feel now?
Yeah.
It's like it didn't happen, right?
Yeah.
And boom, there you go. I can see you. Okay, so that's done. That is a, what did we say, 11/32nd?
Yeah.
11/32nd, and then where's our little, this is our little bolt, so we're gonna test it. Ooh, it's tight. We might have to go up a size. Too tight, let's go up a size. You know where it is?
Yeah.
Okay, you get the next size drill bit, and right here. Take this out. Notice I'm not plugged in. Okay, there you go. And bring the whole box over here. Okay. So here's the next size. Now, how do I know it's the next size? Do you know, Caesar?
Because you got the one, it's either labeled right here with
Yeah.
numbers,
Mm-hmm.
and the one we had was more. So it usually starts with smallest to biggest. So the one we had here was all the way to the left. So logically, the next biggest one would be the one to the right.
And see, they all have a place, and this is called a drill index, automatic drill index. All you got to do is just find the spot. That's it. It's so simple. It's not overly complicated. Okay. So, do you want to try putting this bit in there?
No, I'd love to.
Just do it by hand, and then just there you go.
Ready?
There you go, and then use this key in the chuck. There you go. Now you're done cleaning, so you could take, your gloves were on there for cleaning before, but if you want, you could take them off, no big deal. Okay, plug it in, and you have to mount this, right? So, and we cleaned the steel before we got started. That's also something you should think about. Okay? All right, and let's put it out a little further. We'll put it like this so you can get a chance at it. And then we've got our little indent here from what we did in the center punch earlier. There it is. There's the center. This goes back always put your stuff back if you have a chance to. That one goes there. Okay, you're on. Now find the center. There.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Let's just hit pause for a second. Not on the video though. Keep going with the video. Now what I notice is you're a little bit on an angle and you're pushing this way, so you're bending the bit. Go straight up and down and push down.
Okay.
Yeah. You can slow down a little bit. Yeah. And make sure you push down. Keep going. Yeah, this will help a little bit. Oh, it's all out. Take it out. Take it out. I'm just gonna cool it down with a little bit of oil. That's all. That's actually like 10 times the amount you need. So I couldn't measure it correctly. But go ahead.
Oh, you got stuck.
Alright. It's through?
A little bit more.
Okay. Something happened?
No.
Okay. So now I got a paper towel and I just clear that out. Clean up as you go. It'll be so much better, to do that. All set there. Let me see. Okay, yeah. So let's just clean this up and let's just double check. That's cool. Okay. All right. So now unclamp it, and then you still have that same problem on the bottom. deal with that. Here,
Oh, wait, just that,
you
right?
could shake. You could choke up, like put it here, just like this.
Alright.
There you go. That's cool. Okay, so try this out.
Other side.
Works. Good. Perfect. That's the size. Okay, up top. You do chest bumps at all?
That's ready?
Ready? Okay. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is, okay, so that's how to do it freehand.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably fine for the robot you're building. Okay? It's probably fine. But if you wanted to, we can learn how to use the big dog.
Maybe another episode.
Okay, that's probably true. All right, he's right. Okay, so this is hand drill using a C-clamp to the table, a center punch, the correct size drill, making sure that
Dead man switch.
dead man switch, just a light hit to get your center punch. This was the vise I was going to use for that, but we could make a different video. Let me just show you this real quick. I'll give you an overview and we'll make a separate video. You're probably right because it's too long already. Okay, so this machine right here, this is just like the machine you used just now. The only difference is that how would you solve the problem of you're on an angle and you're drilling through? So if let's say, how would you know it's 90?
If it's coming straight from the top.
Yeah, you're kind of like, you're guessing on the 90,
Yeah.
right? But if you really wanted 90, you would use this. And if you needed more power, remember it was kind of hard to push down and you didn't want to break it. You want a measured power, this is it. You see? So when I push down, it pushes down onto the base. And the base is square, which means 90 degrees to the chuck. And the chuck is the same kind of chuck. It's the same thing. You could put a drill in there, and you could use the key for that. And then the same thing, dead man switch. This is not a plug, but it's a jump. It goes from, I don't know if this is focusing. Is it focusing? It goes from one side to the other. It's just a jump. And so let's look at that jump. Take a look right here. You put it in the plug, and it starts up. You see it spinning? Now, what if I if I stop it, I go make an adjustment, but I left it in there and I go to hit start. Nothing.
Nothing.
Right? Because it needs the jump. So that's a dead man switch right there. Okay? And if someone pulls this out, it'll also stop. Okay? So that is the jump, and then this is just a guard for, when you're doing stuff. And then also the table moves up and down and side to side, and you can clamp to it. And this is called a drill press. And this particular drill press, believe it or not, was made in Plainfield, New Jersey by the Walker Turner Company. I don't know if they're still in business. And then over here, this is where the electric motor spins a belt to an idler, which then goes to here, and you can change the speeds. So you know how you were able to change the speed based on the trigger? Yeah, well, this is different. That's a variable control. This one is non-variable, but you can change these out by adjusting some of these pieces here, and I can show that in another video. So anyway, so this is that's called the drill press, and the other one is just a simple hand drill. All right. So you got an overview today, and I think you got enough information to make the hole in the robot that you would like to make. So just now putting this stuff away. Let's just put the stuff away, right? C-clamps, they all go in the C-clamp box, right? Okay, my glasses go back here. The vise tends to stay here. This is kind of like its little house. This is the bolt that you need, so don't lose that, right? That goes off, right? Now you know how to take this off, hammer, and file, and this. I can take this back. Basically, you get the gist for the video. All right, so I'm Mr. G. This is Caesar. Thanks a lot. That was a good little partnership.
That was awkward.
No, awkward. It's cool. And all right, so if you got any questions, put it in the comments, and the next video will hopefully be the drill press. All right. See you later.